number 10, and the legend himself, Chris Schultz. Nick Volpe, by the way, added to the Argo all-time list. Can't wait for that one. Certainly been a bright spot for the Toronto Argonauts as of late. A couple of games ago, 2 TDs, 145 yards, and then followed it up with a career-high 187, 9 receptions, and 2 TDs as well. What does Monte Coxie have in store? And, of course, Drew Brown, coming off a very nice game, throwing for 225 yards and a pair of touchdowns. We'll see if he can make it 2 straight wins as his RedBlacks are in the 6 to take on the Argonauts alongside Paul LaPolice, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stegall, as we get set for a double dip just hours ahead with the 3 of you. I can't wait for this. As we take a look at the East standings now, and look, we had a huge game last night for the Montreal Alouettes that they ended up dropping, and no one was happier than the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Of course, they lost to the BC Lions. But that means that the Argonauts and Ottawa still in the mix. It's only week 10, and we know there's so much to be played in the CFL, but both these teams sitting at 2 and 6. So the question is, Lapo, who needs this more today?
I think it's Ottawa, guys. I think Ottawa needs the game more because of a couple of reasons. You think about the last time they played. Ottawa played very well against Toronto, but Derek Sluka bowl. Derek Sluka had a 100-yard return and another 100-yard return. And Ottawa really walked out of that game losing, but playing pretty good football. So I think they got to show up. Last week was a big win, but certainly Calgary was not at their finest. But I really think the important thing tonight, Andrew Chatfield Jr., got to make sure they can handle him. 6 sacks this season. I really will looking forward to seeing how this offensive line does against this really good offensive line does against the helps out Drew Brown. I can't even talk today. Good Lord. Okay.
You talked too much last night.
Too much. I'm not doing color today.
Last night?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm with you though, Lapo. I think it's more important for Ottawa. They have their starting quarterback under center. They have to have this one. And the most important and the key to this game for me is going to be the red zone in Toronto. They've been really efficient. You look at Nick Arbuckle. He's the most efficient quarterback in the CFL when it comes to red zone right now.
Right, yeah.
So look, if their defense can, you look at all the numbers. They're putting up numbers, Toronto is. They're efficient in the red zone. They've just struggled with defense. So hopefully they can get that shored up. But I do think this game's more important for Ottawa with their starting quarterback out there.
I mean, both of the teams understand how important this game is, and they both better come out with a sense of urgency. But in my opinion, I think it's Toronto. You think about these Toronto Argonauts, they won the Grey Cup last year. They dropped to 2 and 7. It's going to be difficult to get to the playoffs. You think they got 9 more games left. Being 2 and 7 means your team is not that good. So say if you win 5 of those 9 games, you finish your season 7 and 11. You're not making the playoffs. Imagine winning the Grey Cup, coming back the next year and not making the playoffs. How that would look to your fans, to your organization, to the CFL. So in my opinion, these Toronto Argonauts, they better have a sense of urgency like no other to try to get back on track.
And who knows when Chad Kelly may not come back.
Kelly's not playing this year.
He's not going to play this year again. So this is the team that's got to make plays. Coxie's been spectacular to watch, and you know, he's been really fun to look at that unit. And Nick Arbuckle's done a good job not throwing interceptions this season.
You know what I was going to say, too? I was like, Argos need to get the run game going, but then I looked at Edmonton's run game last night. They won a football game, so maybe nobody needs a run game anymore. Maybe it's just all about the passing. By the way, I said off the top, our Chris Schultz going on the Argos all-time list. Let's go to BMO Field.
Fans, please direct your attention to the video board as we begin our ceremonies and induct another 2 members onto our all-time Argos list. First, being inducted in the builder category, the legendary Nick Volpe.
After starring at East York Collegiate and the University of Toronto, where he would be named to the Blues All-Century team, Nick Volpe joined the Argos in 1949 as a halfback, kicker, and backup quarterback. He'd win a pair of Grey Cups in double blue as a player, including the 1950 Mud Bowl, where he remarkably was able to kick a pair of field goals. He coached the Argos Argos farm team to an Ontario Rugby Football Union title in 1953 and began scouting for the team. After working as an educator and on CFL broadcasts as an isolation director, he rejoined the Argos in 1988 as their player personnel director, then head Canadian scout. He'd win 5 more Grey Cup rings as an executive.
Here to accept Nick's induction, please welcome to the field Nick's children, Helen Chantage, Donna Meager, Stephen Volpe, and Peter Volpe. They will join Alumni Association President Jason Pottinger and Argos General Manager Mike Pinball Clemens to take part in the official induction. Also on hand are fellow all-time Argos members Dan Ferrone, Don Mullen, Paul Massotti, Bill Simons, and Daryl Mookie Mitchell.
Thank you very much. My father would be absolutely thrilled to be included in this wonderful group. The Argos just meant the world team. And we are very proud and honored to accept this on his behalf. Thank you.
Congratulations to Nick Volpe and the Volpe family. Now, the second Argos all-time Argo inductee being inducted as a player, the Gentle Giant.
After starting his career in the NFL, Chris Schultz headed north, where he solidified the Argos at left tackle for almost a decade. The product of Burlington's Aldershot High School first donned double blue in 1986, reaching 2 Grey Cup games, winning a ring in 1991. The cerebral, physically dominant lineman was an Eastern All-Star 3 times, a CFL All-Star twice, and was named the Argos' most outstanding lineman twice. Following his playing career,
Official induction. Please welcome Chris's siblings, Monica and Mark Schultz.
Beat the wall, talk the guy, go hanging on his door. first Saturday here in Southern Ontario, heading into BMO Field in Toronto for the second meeting of the season between the RedBlacks and the Argos. It sounds cliche, Dwayne, that these are teams that desperately need a win, but they come in with records of 2-6, hitting the halfway point today. I mentioned the game before. 6 weeks ago, Drew Brown didn't play. His last time against the Argos was here in the playoffs last November.
Yeah, and a remarkable performance for Drew Brown in that one in a losing effort. But Ottawa, you remember, not a lot of running game in that one. Relied on the arm of Drew Brown. He put up big numbers. Obviously, he'll go head-to-head today with a former Red Black in Nick Arbuckle. Started every game for the Argonauts so far this season. There you saw his numbers, second in the CFL in total passing yards.
Ryan Dinwiddie, fifth year as head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. As I've said before, for all the success, a big challenge this year with all of the changes, including his quarterback Chad Kelly, who's yet to play this season, and Bob Dice, after making those playoffs last year and losing to Toronto in the East semifinal, the RedBlacks falling back a bit and coming in at 2-6. Coming off a victory, though, against the Calgary Stampeders, the only team they've beat so far this year. Janarian Grant back for the return, with the Argos winning the toss on really a beautiful day. 30 degrees, but feels like 38 down there at field level. And Lewis Ward to get things started. High-scoring game the last time they met here, with 96 points on the board in that East semi-final. Week 10 continues. Off the foot of Ward. We're underway here at BMO Field in Toronto. And Janarian Grant has it across the 35, the 40, and tackled up around the 43 by James Peter. So making the way for Nick Arbuckle. Yes, the backup to Chad Kelly, but took over last November. Grey Cup MVP. He's been their number one QB, Dwayne, all season long.
Yeah, he certainly has it. You know, Nick Arbuckle has done, I think, a credible job in the starting role for the Toronto Argonauts. They've obviously had struggles with some other things offensively, particularly trying to get that run game going. They're young on the offensive line as well, but Arbuckle, a veteran presence, trying to provide some stability there.
His ninth straight start. All 9 games this season for the Argos. Nick Arbuckle on first down. A little toss pass inside there to Jake Ursula. Back in the lineup. He had a touchdown in that playoff game last November against the RedBlacks in his second year.
Well, take a look at this Argos starting offense. George Moore, mentioned the last couple weeks, one of 3 second-year men thrust into the starting lineup this season, along with Sage Dockstader and John Boss at right tackle. Deontay McMahon held to just 5 yards rushing last week on 3 carries. So they'd like to get him a little more involved in the offense as well. In fact, over the last 2 games, he's been targeted 4 times as a receiver, but doesn't have a reception.
Cleon Lang, ex-Argonaut, won Grey Cups with both of these teams, is slow to get up and then gets the escort off the field. Cleon Lang. It was a game-time decision. Had an injury they were concerned about heading into this game. And one play in, he is off. First down. Up near midfield. After that pickup by Herslow. With McMahon faking to him. And then it is, screws me off to McMahon in the flat. Make something out of that one. Deontay McMahon and a first down again for the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, you'll see McMahon work across the formation. Just behind the line of scrimmage, slips out into the flat. And almost an extension of the running game is what you're seeing on these first 2 plays for the Toronto Argonauts. As mentioned, the traditional run game. Having a tough time getting some traction, but Herslow involved with that shovel pass off the top. Trying to work the perimeter, loosen things up a little bit on the inside, and McMahon taking that one out in the flat.
And another injury on defense in the second straight play. It's Murray Henderson getting attention down on the field. We'll be back at BMO in a moment. Welcome back to Toronto. These are the hard facts for these 2 teams, both coming in with records of 2-6. The last 2-17 to make the playoffs. Montreal Alouettes back in 2014. 2-6-1 in 2017 and did make it and actually hosted the playoff game against Saskatchewan that year. But for Ryan Dinwiddie, certainly used to better things than that. 2 Grey Cups in 3 years, and the year in between in 23, they won 16 games. Time for a record all time. But a different kind of year for him and for Bob Dice after making the playoffs last year. It's Kevin Vitale now on the first down play and gets tackled there by Davion Taylor. Let's have a look at that red-black defense. It's already suffered a couple of injuries, Dwayne.
Yeah, and I suspect it means we'll see a little more of Daniel Opoku and Mike Wakefield on the inside with Cleon Lang going down. Keep an eye on Bryce Carter, of course, off the edge. Javon Santos knocks one of the anchors of this defense from his middle linebacker position. And the veteran Justin Howell gets the start at the safety spot here today. Juggling Robert Priester in for the injured Amari Henderson at halfback.
Lose a gain of 4. It's a 2nd and 6. And here's Arbuckle to throw again with pressure coming. Gets it to McMahon again. Just over the middle. Short pass, and he does the rest. Gets it inside the 30. And another first down. 3rd of this drive for the Toronto Argonauts to open up this game.
And with the linebackers dropping off, they're back beyond those first down markers. So McMahon, lots of room to run after picking up that little outlet pass from his quarterback, Nick Arbuckle.
Got that first pass out in the flat. The start of this drive when they had Kalen Leyburn, the ex-Red-Black, in there at running back. And Leyburn is back in there beside Arbuckle on this first down. Throwing to him, Kalen Leyburn has it. The 30. And a big pop, too, with DeAndre Lamont. Puts his head down and picks up a couple of more yards, but a 2nd and long coming up here for Toronto.
And again, very interesting to see the Toronto Argonauts leaning on their running backs a lot in the early going here in their passing game, as they haven't been able to get much going along the ground in recent weeks.
Nick Arbuckle, short passes. He is 5 for 5 and a good drive here down in the scoring zone. And faking the handoff, looking deeper now to the end zone. Touchdown! Just like that, Toronto. Dejan Brissett has it. And the Argos take the early initiative here against the Ottawa RedBlacks. Touchdown number 2 in the season for Brissett.
Yeah, you're going to see play action at the line of scrimmage. Arbuckle faking the handoff to his running back, Leyburn. Brissett able to get in behind coverage. The secondary maybe biting on that run fake a little bit. Brissett takes advantage with the major.
And a tidy 6-play drive. Right down they go. Capped off by Brissett. Here's Lirim Hairolau. Put down by John Haggerty. To make it a 7-point start for the Toronto Argonauts, who won by 13 in week 4 back in Ottawa. Looking for another one here and a good start.
We'll take a look back at this touchdown. Dejan Brissett is the number 2 receiver. Keep an eye here on the halfback. I believe DeAndre Lamont had slid over to that side with the injury to Amari Henderson. Everything the Argos did on this drive was short, quick hitters. So when the halfback sees that little stutter step fake to the inside, he kind of settles his feet, anticipating it's going to be a short pass, a short route. Brissett sold it and then got over the top on him. Arbuckle lays it on him for the touchdown.
Arbuckle 6 for 6, 67 yards. That was the longest pass of the drive. 26 yards for the touchdown. And that kickoff goes into the end zone. Khalil Templeton just takes a knee, gives up the point. It's now 8-0 in Toronto. RedBlacks looking for better field position to start things off after that kick by Hairolau. Mentioning Drew Brown, his last time against the Argos in the playoff game here a year ago when he threw 61 times. This will be his 6th start of the season.
Yeah, Drew Brown battled injuries a little bit through his first couple of years as an Ottawa RedBlack, but when he has been in the lineup, he's been terrific for this team. They seem to a carry thus far this season. His first in red flag.
Stand back in. Moves out of the backfield and Brown throwing it. And it's caught two in behind coverage. The rookie Keelan White gets it. Takes it down to the Toronto 30 and a big first down for Ottawa.
Yeah, White is the bottom right corner of your screen, the #1 receiver. Ottawa's first-round pick in this year's draft out of the University of Montana. Just hanging out on the sidelines. Drew Brown guns it out there to the wide side.
Ottawa put 38 on the board in that playoff game last year. They lost it though 58-38. 96 points scored in that one last November here at BMO. Williams stand back the ball carrier here. First carry on that first down going nowhere. Jordan Williams is in. And Derek Parrish as well. And nothing there for Stanback.
Taking a look at the Argos D. Anthony Lanier. Looks like he's starting to find his stride from that defensive tackle spot for the Toronto Argonauts. Tyshawn Blackburn makes a move from safety back to the nickel linebacker spot this week as Derek Sluka. One of the big stories last time these two teams met. Out last week with a lower body injury. He makes his return.
Look at 2 touchdowns, special teams and defense in that game. Well, the screen off to stand back, and inside the 30 he goes, but still not much there. And those 2 touches for stand back, maybe a couple of yards. We got a 3rd and long coming up. We got Lewis Ward coming on to see if they can get their first points on the board.
Yeah, the first-year Argo linebacker Aaron Casey has made his impact most felt in the early going as a pass rusher. Casey coming in with 4 sacks already. They do a nice job sniffing out the screen there, getting to stand back and pulling him down.
Richie Leone will put it down from the 36. Ward 20 of 25. Longest to 50 this season. Out, down, and it is kicked, and it is wide to his right. Janarian Grant, well, looked like he was going to take a knee, and then eventually gets tackled there by the long snapper Peter Adji. But a miss for Lewis Ward, and just 1 on the board. Leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. Big play to Monte Coxie. We'll have more on him coming up. We had some great big play receiver play in the CFL this year, and this guy's a big part of it. DeMonte Coxie. Dwayne, a couple more touchdowns last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 3 in those 2 games.
Yeah, the Argo offense has leaned on him a great deal. You see 332 yards in his last 2 outings as he became the league's leading receiver after week 9, trailing just Kenny Lawler after Hamilton's game Thursday.
That's the handoff to Deontay McMahon, with the Argos having 4 receivers out to the right, but Ottawa's got that read nicely for no gain. See what he's done. The ranks after week 9, yeah, a lot of talk, understandably, about Kenny Lawler, but he has been a big part of the story. Not just racking up the yardage, but just some big play catches, too.
Yeah, one of the top, as we say, jump ball or 50-50 ball guys in the Canadian Football League. He has a knack. When you're Nick Arbuckle, certainly you have confidence. Putting the ball out there, giving Coxie a shot at it.
It's 2nd down and 10 for Arbuckle. Drops back, and coming back to the ball, catching it right at around the first down marker is Dejon Brissett. For the last time they had the ball capped off that 6-play drive with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
And nice protection there from the Argonauts offensive line. As you said, Arbuckle throwing a strike right at that first down marker. The spot.
Thinking, too, moments after they honored our friend Chris Schultz, all-time Argonaut, that drive to 4 for the touchdown happened to be 67 yards. Kind of a nice touch. Janarian Grant on the sweep. A little chest pass and takes it out to about midfield, so 2nd down and 5 coming up.
Argos showing some creativity in the early going in terms of their offenses. We've seen a couple of what are basically receiver runs. Even if technically they're shovel passes.
Thank you.
Essentially considered part of the run game in terms of how you block them up and execute that play.
Ball just across midfield. It's the 2-6 Argos against the 2-6 Ottawa RedBlacks here in Week 10. 2nd and 5. Arbuckle has time and over the middle to McMahon, but only about 3 yards on that. They'll still be shy by a couple. On a 3rd down coming up, it's where they're marking it. It's looking like 2 yards. Around the 52 of the RedBlacks. And special teams coming on the field now. John Haggerty to punt this one away, and Haggerty, we've seen in the past, surprised 40, we were talking about this, that last week got his first inside the 10, and he ruled in that stat 1 year ago.
Yeah, tied for the league lead a year ago with 8 punts inside the opponent's 10-yard line. Just won this season. You know, and that may be one of the things affecting some of the Argos' struggles. Certainly changes to their roster, availability of some of their top cover guys would be a factor as well.
So Haggerty punt it away, see if he can pin Ottawa deep. There's Pimpleton inside the 10 right now. Takes it at the 5, a 47-yarder. And Pimpleton, oh, he finds the edge. Found some room, but a flag comes out as Casey pushes him out. So looked like he had something going, ends up getting it up to around the 20. Drew Brown coming back on. Matthew Shinetti will have more on the quarterback for the Ottawa RedBlacks. CFL on TSN from BMO Field. Drew Brown in his 2nd year as a CFL starting quarterback, but never too experienced to get some advice. Let's head down to the field and join Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Rob, when you take a look at this game and who the Ottawa RedBlacks are facing, there perhaps is no better advanced scout for Drew Brown than Zach Collaros, a guy he backed up in Winnipeg for 3 seasons, and he talks to Collaros, he told us this week, on a near daily basis, because it's important for him to kind of understand the way that Collaros sees the game, because Brown, in his CFL education, was seeing the game the same way that Collaros did. And in a lot of ways, they're very similar. They like not to take themselves too seriously. They love the game, but when I was talking to Collaros about Brown this week and why it's so important to give the young quarterback so much advice, he talked really about that sense of consistency, not necessarily taking yourself too seriously, understanding that mistakes are going to happen, but to be process-driven. And being process-driven means trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, and trusting what you see.
Oh, Matthew, and what a place to be an understudy in Winnipeg with Zach Collaros helping him there in the early part of Drew Brown's career, going to Grey Cups. They start deep in their zone now. Williams stand back, pushing his way left against the very stiff Argonaut defense against the run. Again, not much there at all for 31.
We mentioned earlier Drew Brown's last game here at BMO Field, the Eastern semifinal in 2024. Talk about a guy playing the role of gunslinger. 46 completions on 61 attempts in that ball game for Drew Brown, close to 500 yards through the air.
Remember, too, they led at the half in that game, 23-20. And second half just got crazy for the Argos. Big plays by Chad Kelly. And then on defense, too, a couple interceptions and went for touchdown for Toronto. Here's Brown, 2nd down and 10. Not nearly enough for a first down. Punting unit will come on, and looks like Leone will have to.
Is going to develop. So Drew Brown forced to settle for the short receiver, and White quickly surrounded by blue jerseys.
So Janarian Grant stands at the Argo 50 to get this one from Richie Leone. Five-time All-Star veteran for the RedBlacks. Just past midfield. Grant takes it there. Plays for the Argo offense to start, and then some. Here we go again. Janarian Grant. He gets finally tossed down after another dangerous-looking return. He gets it down to the 30. And whenever he gets the ball in his hands, we've seen that so many times in
Sticks his foot in the dirt, takes it straight up the gut. Nice return there. Just when it looked like he was about to break it, not a huge shock from an Ottawa perspective to see Marco Dubois as the guy who managed to track him down.
Right at the Ottawa 31, so I mentioned good field position just on the punt alone, but with that return, great place. The Argos with the lead, looking to add to it now. Time, and Arbuckle does get rid of it. End zone, touchdown, wide open. Jake Herslow. A breakdown in the coverage in the Ottawa secondary, and the Argos make them pay.
Yeah, Arbuckle's going to end up escaping the pocket here. Again, a little bit of play action, has to slide to his left to buy time. Herslow working that way, comes right into his field of vision for an easy bit of pitch and catch.
Jake Herslow in his second year at the University of Houston. As mentioned, got a chance to play late in the season last year, including the playoffs when he had a touchdown catch from Chad Kelly. On to celebrate a Grey Cup with the double blue, and celebrating a touchdown now and a 15-1 lead after that point after by Hyrule.
Watch for Jake Herslow on this. When he's coming from the hash mark, he's going to work across the field. You're going to see a defender picks him up, but it just looks like a communication issue as there's an Argo receiver crossing the other way, left to right in the formation. I believe Brissett. Both of those deep defenders are going to go the other way. They let Herslow go. Arbuckle happens to be sliding that way in the pocket, so it becomes an easy throw for him.
Just activated again by the Argos. Comes in and making a contribution. A couple of catches for Herslow, including that touchdown. That's his first touchdown of this season and a 14-point lead. A couple of touchdowns ahead of the Argos here. Still in the first quarter. Pimpleton inside the 5. RedBlacks have some work to do now. Pimpleton, he's working it outside. Tries to get the edge and Tyshawn Blackburn, and he cuts it back in. Gets just across the 35. Jeremiah Ojo, the rookie, and Jack Cassar in the special teams tackle there.
Big note to have Cassar back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Tied for the league lead in special teams tackles a year ago.
Toronto number 26. That penalty is declined. First down, Ottawa. Come here.
It's a point you made on the difficulty the Argos have had on covering kicks this year. They've given up 4 touchdowns in both kickoffs and punt returns.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it from a personnel point of view, standing right there with special teams coordinator Mickey Donovan. You've got Jack Cassar, who was injured after the first 2 games of the year. He led the team in special teams tackles last year. Brian Harlemana there as well. He was second on the team. He's also been on the injured list a fair bit this year. And that's been a big part of the story, as those certainly aren't the only 2.
Late first, RedBlacks in a 14-point hole. Pressure coming. Brown gets rid of it. And it is caught over the middle by Braylon Addison. Across midfield and inside the Argo 50 with 1:40 on the clock until quarter time. First catch of the afternoon, Addison.
And Braylon Addison, kind of the wily veteran of this receiving corps. There you can clearly see, just kind of gets in between levels of the defense. Waddles down. Nicely placed football from Drew Brown.
Right to the Argo 48. 3 receivers, 4 to the left. Down looking to the right, though. And coming in is Gino Lewis with his first catch. Leading receiver for the RedBlacks in his first year in Ottawa. And he picks up about 6-7 yards on that catch.
And it was interesting to talk to DeMonte Coxey this week about when he first arrived in the Canadian Football League, and some of the receivers who caught his eye as guys who may play a little bit of a similar style. And he said Gino was one of the first ones he noticed. Lewis was an Alouette at the time.
Brown throws again. Second down and 4 and a first down, and a flag comes out. It's Pimpleton with it. And Wynton McMahon has Davis in on the tackle there. Getting it down to about the Toronto 32, so would be enough for a first down. Wait for the flag. Indication against Toronto.
Offside. Toronto number 94. That penalty is declined. First down.
Referee Andrew Wakefield today with that announcement, and a first down for Ottawa.
Wakefield with the call. Andrew Chatfield with the penalty.
At BMO Field. Now, that's kind of late. I see where you're going.
Well, we got Mike Wakefield in this one.
Oh, we do?
No
We got
relation.
Wakefield, too. From the Toronto 32. Stand back. A little bit more that time. Pushing and working there with Anthony Lanier, wrapping around his ankles, but picks up a few yards and a second down coming up just inside the 30.
The yards are tough to come by in the ground game for the Ottawa RedBlacks here in the first quarter.
This will be the last play of the first. All Toronto so far. Ottawa's point coming on a missed field goal. Back in field goal range, but thinking more. Brown inside the 30. Tries to take off, and he can't find anybody. He just can't get away, and the ball comes out, and it's Williams with it. And Williams, Jordan Williams down inside the 20-10-5 in for the Toronto touchdown to end the first quarter. Just when it looked like Ottawa was pressing to get some points on the board, it goes the other way. What a disaster for the RedBlacks, the way this first quarter comes to an end. Jordan Williams picks it up off the Drew Brown fumble.
And you watch exactly when the ball comes out here. And before the knee is down, the ball is clearly out. A heads-up play from Jordan Williams to keep playing and not just assume that it would be dead. He's got himself his first touchdown.
And it's the second straight game between these two teams. The RedBlacks have copped one up and ended up 6 points the other way. Sluka did it in Ottawa and later had one on special teams as well, but that was a fumble that was deep in the Toronto zone when Ottawa copped it up, and they pay. So another point swing when they were at least in range for 3. Instead, it ends up 7 more for the Boatmen. Jordan Williams, one of several big men to find the end zone this season. Through one quarter, all Argos. The numbers, Dwayne, don't really tell the whole story. The way that quarter ended on the turnover, that, as I say, that's very telltale. Like the previous meeting between these two teams 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think that's really the biggest play of the game. So far, a long return, and you said it. Derek Sluka had the 200-plus yard return touchdowns in that ball game that completely swung that game. You got to feel a little uneasy when you're Ottawa, and this one seems like it's unfolding the same way.
And unlike that game, the offense a lot more together this time around with Arbuckle at 6-play drive, the touchdown to start the game, and then they added another one. They have just, after that was after a good return by Janari and Grant, so they have just offense, defense, special teams have just ruled so far, and the score indicates that. For Bob Dice's team in a big hole now, that much bigger, after, again, looked like they were pressing for points with the fumble. The ball security cost them with an immediate Argo touchdown. Jordan Williams, the one who gets it. So Khalil Pimpleton is back again. Another kickoff. And this one's a bit shorter. Bobbled. What else could go wrong? They do get it. At least they got it back. But another near disaster for the RedBlacks here at BMO Field. So let's take another look at that Jordan Williams touchdown after the fumble.
And you had a little bit of a bad feeling as Drew Brown decided to take off with this one. It almost looked like he was thinking about shuffling the ball upfield. He kept it in his right hand. Well, that's where the contact is coming from. So the hit jars that ball loose. it to you, Dino Boyd, but you weren't going to catch him, big fella.
Jordan Williams walking in with a lineman's green. It was Anthony Gosselin. The kick by Jairalao a little bit shorter, and it bobbled it, but they do have it. They start around the 35 on a running play, and up near the 40 now. And that is ex-Argo Daniel Adeboboye going up against his old team for the second time. Adeboboye starting his career here in Toronto for 3 seasons, winning a couple of Grey Cups.
Yeah, Adeboboye, 15th overall pick in the 2022 draft by the Toronto Argonauts. Kind of anticipated at that time, or projected him as the backup to Andrew Harris, a Canadian backup coming into the lineup.
Brown from inside the 40, completes that one over the middle. Taking a pop immediately is Addison from the safety Derek Sluka, but it's a first down as the RedBlacks get up close to midfield.
And nice kind of bounce back play here for Drew Brown and the RedBlacks offense. Braylon Addison going into dangerous waters in the middle of that D as Sluka's coming downhill on him. Good catch, good hit.
Early yet, they've got to be in that one drive at a time mode. It's such a big hole, 3 touchdowns down just to start the second quarter for Brown. Settles in, deep shot, right, and no, turning around is Keelan White. Benji Franklin was right there with him, and that is the first incompletion either team in this ball game.
Yeah, Ottawa gets into a bit of a max protect look, double tight ends in that formation, trying to ensure that Drew Brown has the time for the deep routes to develop, but just unable to connect with White on that one.
Keelan White. Close call there with Benji Franklin on him. Franklin who had an interception for a touchdown. He had a pick 6 in that playoff game, and then the following week against the Alouettes in the East Final 2. Pressure on Brown. He gets rid of it to the left. Going up for it. The coverage is there. It's Tavares McFadden, who also had a pick 6 after the interception by Wynn McManus last year in that playoff game, jumping in. So good coverage by the Argos, incomplete, and they're going to have to punt.
Yeah, there you saw Khalil Pimpleton, the intended receiver, on the play as Ottawa's trying to push the ball downfield a little bit here and see if
Watches it. Talk about inside the 10. Doesn't get much better than that as it hits and takes a roll down at the 2.5. 55-yard punt. Richie Leone add one to his I-10 stat on a beautiful day in downtown Toronto at BMO Field. For next year.
Oh yeah, we're working on
that.
things. Yeah.
I'd like to keep that rumor going.
Yep.
Be interesting to see. A great day for the Argonauts on the water and on the field, leading 22-1, but starting deep in their zone. Nick Arbuckle. Solid day so far. No incompletions. Short one there. That is caught by Herslow at a touchdown in the first quarter, and he gets it a little bit of space there. Not much, about 3-4 yards, and a big play coming up for that Red-Black defense.
Yeah, an opportunity here after that tremendous punt by Richie Leone to swing the field, maybe give their offense a time-efficient opportunity to get back in this one a little bit with a short field.
Well, they've turned the ball over. They could use a turnover now, going their way. 2nd and 6, Arbuckle from the Toronto 7. Off to the left. Oh, going up high for it was DeMonte Coxie. And he goes down hard, is a little slow to get up. But that was just a bit too high. And the first incompletion there for Arbuckle.
Yeah, if in doubt, take a shot to Coxie, and he climbs the ladder. Unable to come down with that one. C.J. Colden with the coverage on the play. He's so used to seeing Coxie come down with those kind of balls, he was ready to make the tackle.
So seeing that punt by Leone, they're rewarded with great field position when they get it back. That's Pimpleton just inside his 50. As Haggerty close to 10 yards deep to get this one away. A good punt. Pimpleton takes it at the 47. Midfield. Still going. Khalil Pimpleton got something going here. Still on his feet. And it's Haggerty down around the
RedBlacks in desperate need of a spark here in the first half of this ball game. Get it from Khalil Pimpleton. He fields the 57-yard punt and responds with a 57-yard return, setting up his Ottawa RedBlacks on the doorstep.
And they need a touchdown. They're down by 3 TDs. Here we go, first and goal at the 6. Taking a stand back, a look into the end zone to the left. No, a bit far for Braylon Addison. Coverage close there by Darius Bratton. It's incomplete. It's second and goal coming up.
And the RedBlacks absolutely need to take advantage of this. The opportunity they're given. I'm kind of thinking it's even 3-down football time here in the first half.
I was going to say, even though we're second quarter, maybe, right? The way the momentum
just to try and
gone.
Get something so they don't end up chasing all game.
Huge call coming up for Tommy Condell. Drew Brown, that Ottawa offense, second and goal. Looking for the end zone. Faking again to stand back. Having a look for Gino Lewis. And he has it. Touchdown RedBlacks. Lewis gets it. And did they ever need that? And he got turned around for it, but those soft hands brought it in. And they finally find the end zone.
Yeah, and terrific adjustment by Gino Lewis as this ball is in flight. He's originally kind of looking corner route over his outside shoulder. Drew Brown under pressure has to throw it up. Gino turns over the other shoulder, finds it. Hauls it in.
So 34 seconds, that's all it took for the RedBlacks after that big return by Pimpleton. Eugene Lewis has his third touchdown of the season, his third as a member of the Ottawa RedBlacks. The point after from Lewis Ward. And they're still down a lot, but they're getting back into the game thanks to that big play on the punt return. 22-8 now, a couple of touchdowns down.
Well, and as even though the touchdown is technically scored against the Toronto Argonauts defense, you go back to the issues that the Argos have had covering kicks this season. They've allowed 4 kick return touchdowns this season, including 2 last week against Winnipeg. A big return here has everything to do with the RedBlacks' first touchdown of the game.
I mean, that close, 6 yards away from being the 5th return touchdown they've allowed. And yeah, it was 2 last week by Trey Babel in Winnipeg. And the point that you have made, the turnover, it's not just an offensive defense, but a lot of changes for Mickey Donovan on the special teams units, on those coverage units.
And again, starting to get some bodies back from injury. But, I took a look at the numbers a little bit. The Argos' top 9 special teams tacklers from last season, 4 of them are no longer with the team. Of the 5 who are still here, 4 of them had spent at least 2 games on the injured list through this first half of the season.
The kickoff by Lewis Ward down to Janarian Grant inside the 15, 25, 30. Outside, up around the 37, 38-yard line for Arbuckle to start again. So finally, dealing with an Ottawa team that has punched back, thanks mainly to special teams, to set them up for that Brown to Lewis touchdown. But Arbuckle and the Argos still in charge right now in the first half. He's 11 of 12, just 1 incompletion for 119 yards. 2 touchdown tosses, 1 to Dejan Brissett, the other to Jake Herslow in the first quarter.
Yeah, terrific start to this ball game for Nick Arbuckle.
And he'd had a lot of experience as a starter with different teams, including the Argos. But everything turned in that East final when, unfortunately, Chad Kelly suffered that broken leg and Arbuckle took over. He's been their #1 quarterback since. Dante McMahon up across the 40 on that first down play, about 3 yards there. And, yeah, for Arbuckle, I mean, for a while, we didn't know when is Kelly coming back, and then he gets placed in the 6th game. So we know now, and Nick Arbuckle knows. There's a look at Chad Kelly, their #1 QB, who got injured back in November. But that it is, for the foreseeable future, Nick Arbuckle's job.
Yeah, and I think that, as much as the Argos offense misses Chad Kelly and the added big playability he brings, they're in pretty good hands with the veteran Nick Arbuckle, a guy who knows the system well under Ryan Dinwiddie.
And he has time to get rid of that on the second down play. It's intended there for David Ungerer. And it is his 3rd
the Pimpleton 57-yard run back.
Back there again. And, you know, you look for small victories right now when you're down a ton. They did get the big return and the touchdown, and second straight 2 and out for the Argo offense, so the defense starting to get it together now. John Haggerty punted away again, and Pimpleton standing this time inside the 15 for this. Coming over to the left, and he brings that down. Tyshawn Blackburn looked like he was inside the 5 yards. The flag for no yards does come out, so it'll be 15 more for Ottawa to get things started. BMO Field on a summer Saturday in Southern Ontario. Beautiful look at the grass here at BMO Field, but it is another scorching day, Matthew.
Yeah, we should get our ISO director, Thomas Ludwig, in the lower third, Rod, to put how hot is it, because here's another heat report. In the shade here on the west side of BMO Field, it's quite pleasant, but you notice how hot it is when the players come back on the field. There are fans blowing mist while they're at the bench, but everyone is drenching themselves in a lot of water. You can see it particularly on the Argos bench. Whitten McManus came, and he was just dousing himself after a recent series. But you talk about the field, it's just been installed over the last week. There's synthetic stitching in the pitch. Again, this is about the process of putting this field in for the World Cup. This is not the field that will go in.
Looking at that field and walking on it before the game, this is natural grass, but with those artificial components on it, it looks like it's in terrific shape, putting in everything right.
Yeah, it really does. Sometimes I guess you benefit from sharing with the soccer guys, huh?
In this case, most definitely, and a 4-yard pickup, second down now for Ottawa after the stand-back carry. That one, that is caught over midfield. Darius Pratt right in there on Braylon Addison, but he hangs on, and a big first down for this RedBlacks offense. 18 more yards for Ottawa.
See Braylon Addison working out of the slot here, does a terrific job. A, coming back to the football, but B, staying with it after the play on the ball by Bratton, who gets a hand in there to disrupt the catch. Fine focus there from Braylon Addison.
First and 10. Cross midfield. Ottawa 4 receivers to the right. Handing off, stand back. Has his best run of the day. Easily as he pulls his way down to around the 35, and a first down there on the ground for the RedBlacks.
The defense just seemed to part on that one for William Stanback, as he just takes it straight up the gut.
Stanback now with 5 carries for 23 yards. That one gets him another first down. Here come the RedBlacks. First drive after their touchdown. Trying to get back into this game. Back on the ground, Stanback again. And feeling his way through. Another solid run for William Stanback to get it inside the 30. It'll be a second and short coming up here. I'll call it a 5-yard pickup. Excuse me, second and 5.
A couple of nice plays back-to-back on the ground for Ottawa after struggling a little bit with that aspect of their offense for much of this first half.
Stanback remains in. Second and 5. Back to him. 31. Left side. Not this time. Derek Carr's in there. Blackburn coming up as well as Whitten McManus, the middle linebacker. As Parrish has taken a knee and finally does get up, but it's a third down. It's 2.5 yards shy here for Ottawa. And Lewis Ward is coming on.
7th carry of the ball game for the veteran running back, William Stanback. Just below his average for this season.
Lewis Ward, 0 for 1. His field goal tries. This one will be put down just outside the 34 by Leone. As Ward tries to get Ottawa 3 more points closer. Out and down and kicked perfectly right through. So 11 on the board now for the RedBlacks. And it is a 20. He's done so many things so well for the Argos this year. Ryan Dinwiddie thinks he can get even more out of him.
I challenged him on the flight home, brought him in, sat down, and said, look, man, you're going to be a great player in this league. You already are a great player. I said, but your ceiling is way up here. Let's get to that. And that, starts with film prep, running your routes consistently with the same urgency, and get his best week of practice this week. So I think that really sunk in, that he knows he's a great player, but, he could be even better.
DeMonte Coxey.
It's a scary thought.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Some of the big plays he's made. It's 3 touchdowns receiving in the last 2 games alone. Oh, and high contact there. Lorenzo Malden in. Raises his hand immediately. He's just trying to get his hand on Arbuckle as Arbuckle had crouched down and then made contact with the helmet, and he knows it's a penalty coming up.
Yeah, just so often one of those things that happens with the speed of the game.
Roughing the passer, Ottawa number 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See Lorenzo Malden from his defensive end spot able to come through the shoulder of the blocker and just trying to get a piece of the jersey. See the hand gets in a little high on Arbuckle around the side of that face mask.
10-yard penalty moves him up, 15, moves him up to midfield. And a first down for the Argos, leading by 11. Late first half on that hitch to Janarian Grant. We've said before, you don't see him make a lot of catches used in the offense very much, although last year in the playoffs he was used very effectively, and he has a catch there, his first of the season, first catch for number 3.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of touches in this ball game already for Janarian Grant offensively. He had been targeted once as a receiver, and we actually saw him take a lateral and complete a pass to DeMonte Coxey a couple of weeks ago.
So I guess technically that'd be a second catch then, if you want to count the other one, although behind the line of scrimmage in the double pass that he made. And that one goes incomplete. Third down and 5 is coming up. But what I remember with Grant, too, in the Eastern final last year, remember the one to start the second half from the end zone, Chad Kelly hit him, and it was a beautiful ball tossed right over. Beautiful pass by Kelly, but they got him out of trouble right away against the Alouettes.
One of those guys who is usually the fastest guy on the field. We try to find different ways to put the ball in his hand. Well, there's a guy who may have something to say about that race.
No question. Third down and 5. Haggerty to punt from his 50. And on that return after a 44-yard punt, it's a Darius Pickett, the ex-Argo, used on the return game as well. So he gets it up to the 20. The warning is given. The Argos have the lead. The RedBlacks down 11 have the ball.
We have so much coming up at halftime. We really do. Milt Stegall, what do you have planned?
Special teams play, baby. Big
I like
returners.
it, Jesse.
Take advantage of some mistakes from the RedBlacks secondary.
Lapo.
Ottawa resiliency.
And I have straight fire.
Straight fire Saturday in this doubleheader day. Keith Burnett's in the panel. Coming up at halftime. With Milton, Chez, and Lapo. 22-11 Argos, Ottawa football. Trying to get closer. Dan Adamaboye. Another carry for him against his old club as he works it up for about 3 yards. 2:20 on the clock until halftime.
Yeah, a little homecoming for Adamaboye, not just here at BMO Field as a former member of the Argonauts, but a guy who played his high school football here at Northern Secondary before going on to find college career at Bryant University.
And as you've talked about, a big part of their special teams coverage no longer around.
Yeah, third on the team, 11 special teams tackles for him as an Argo last year.
And now a RedBlack. The team is trying to inch its way closer. The ball comes out for Brown. Manages to pick it up and get
center is trying to get a gap to his right to make the block. Drew Brown rolling left, throwing right in the middle of the field. It results in a big completion.
Maybe things are turning around for Ottawa after this disastrous start. 10 unanswered points, 20-11. Getting closer to midfield, swinging it out for Addison after the catch. Has some room as a first down, too. He is tackled there by Sluka, but not before. The sticks will move again as they venture into the Argo zone.
Well, taking a look back at that previous play, Drew Brown, I think he was almost surprised when he picked up that ball to find that he still had a little bit of time back there to try and make something happen. And that's exactly what he did.
Here's Brown again, complete again, Lewis again, and spinning and working his way for a first down. Again for the Ottawa RedBlacks. They get it to about the 42, what they needed. To get another first, get a little closer as halftime is near.
And nice effort here from Gino Lewis, as it initially appeared he was going to be stopped short of that first down, but the whirling dervish manages to pick up a couple extra yards, move the sticks.
Ottawa's offense coming to life now. On their touchdown, they were gifted a start at the 6-yard line of the Argos after the big punt return by Pimpleton. Here's Brown. He's taking a shot. End zone open. Touchdown. Addison. Here come the RedBlacks getting right back into this game.
Well, Drew Brown finding his groove here in the second quarter. Braylon Addison gets on his horse to go get this one. Splitting two defenders for the touchdown grab.
Braylon Addison, who had 2 touchdowns here at BMO Field in the East semifinal last year and over 100 yards receiving. This is his biggest one of the season so far here. That's his second touchdown catch. And it gets him within an extra point of making it a 4-point game.
I tell these guys you're ready.
Moving the ball up now to go for 2 and make it a 3-point game as Brown is coming back on. So trying to get it to within a field goal. 58 seconds to go until halftime. A little early to go for 2, do you think? It's still first half. I mean, they've already swung the momentum big time. 16 unanswered points as it is. So going for 2 to get it to within a field goal before halftime. Brown, wide open. Can he keep his feet down? No. The signal is for Addison that he could not keep a foot down. Talking to Brian Krupolo there, who made the call. Incomplete. Caught the ball, feet were not in, and it remains a 5-point game.
And here we'll take a little closer look.
The previous play is under review by the replay center.
Ooh, that is close.
Brian Kruplo certainly well positioned to get a view of that one.
Was that left foot down as he managed control of the ball? This will be interesting as they automatically take a look at it.
Yeah, kind of a matter of split seconds here. Wow.
That is so close. Looking for those 2 more points. And after taking a couple of looks at that, I'm wondering for Bob Dice if they will indeed get this and get it to a 3-point game in the final minute of the half. Here is the review.
After review, we have a successful 2-point convert scored.
There you go. Braylon Addison gets the touchdown, gets the 2-pointer. It counts. Foot down as he had possession of it. Let's take another look, Wade.
Yeah, receiver working here. And you'll see him with a little bit of a stem to the outside. And I think he leaves both defenders. You've got the safety in the middle, Sluka, and the corner, McFadden. Each one's kind of thinking he's running into the other guy's territory as he's going right down that seam between the two defenders, creating a little confusion.
Here comes Janarian Grant. And Frankie Griffin coming in, getting a piece of him as he taken down across the 35. What an interesting first half when it was all Argos in the first quarter. Kate Burness, David Sanchez, Milt Stegall, Paul LaPolice. You talk about this comeback as well by the Ottawa RedBlacks to make it a game. They're only 3 points down. And I bring it up again. The last time they met here at BMO in the playoff game, the East Semi last year, it was a 3-point difference at halftime. Ottawa was leading, and the Argos poured it on in the second half, won at 58-38. It's been a week so far of close games, too, hasn't it? We saw it in Hamilton and again last night in Montreal. Getting close at halftime now, although Herslow has a touchdown in the game, and they still have lots of time to, at the very least, drive down and see if they can add 3.
Yeah, try and rebuild that lead. The Argos got out to a quick start in this one, but the RedBlacks here in the second quarter, sparked by a big return by Khalil Pimpleton, got themselves right back in this ballgame.
Let's not forget how the first quarter ended when Ottawa looked like they were driving down 14-1, looked like they were driving for points. And the fumble by Brown and taken the other way for the touchdown. And Jordan Williams. Here we go. Herslow the hurdle. He hurdles. He keeps going. Hurdle and Herslow. And a big gain, and that will get him into field goal range still with 35 seconds to go.
And you call it a hurdle. This one's more high jump. To me, Herslow.
Wow, 4 for 77 yards, too. Arbuckle's going to take off. Calls his number and slides inside the 30. Jake Herslow, Olympian. Have another look at this.
Well, he saw that one coming a mile away because as he started to initiate that jump, I was thinking, but he's so far away from the defender. It ended up being perfectly timed.
I tell you, we've had a lot of hurdles and hurdle attempts so far this season. I'm going to give him number 1.
Offsetting misconduct fouls. Toronto number 86, on one number 23. It's second down.
So that's DeMonte Coxie and his old teammate Robert Priester offsetting. But, yeah, at some point, we've got to put a reel together of these hurdles. But I would think that's the top one so far.
That was pretty impressive.
Jake Herslow. 27 seconds in field goal range. He's going to take a shot. Arbuckle off to the left. Coming back to the ball is David Ungerer, and does have a first down. 18 seconds to go. Let's see this again from Hurdle and Herslow.
Definitely worth another look. Like you see, the defender's not even in the picture when he starts that jump.
He got some air. Yeah, you're right. That's a high hurdle or a high jump. 12 seconds. Left again. First down again. And Ungerer stays in bounds. Down to 6 seconds to go on the clock. This field goal unit appears to be coming on now.
Yeah, don't want to take any chances.
No.
Down to 6 seconds here.
So all the second quarter momentum is Ottawa, but the Argos at least have a chance for some second quarter points to take to the dressing room. They do have the lead, trying to double it back up to 6 for Hairolahu. His first field goal attempt, 21-23 on the year. He was 3 for 3 last week in Winnipeg. It's a 20-yarder. Up and through. So they take something back.
Yeah, that's big to me with Ottawa getting possession of the football to start the second half. Big for the Argos to get those points.
Well, it seems a while ago now with all these big plays that this happened at the end of the first quarter.
check your pulse. You still good? Take us through. When you saw Cameron Judge force that fumble and you saw that ball, you seemed to pick it up and like muscle memory just told you to go.
Yeah, my eyes open wide up. I seen Judge. I was already chasing after the ball, so I seen Judge knock it out. I picked it up, and I just hope I looked a lot faster than I felt.
Just knowing that the game is what it is now, how imperative is it going to be to attack Drew Brown and that offense nonstop come the second half?
Oh, we're not done. We just got to keep attacking, keep playing discipline, and we're going to finish it off in the second half.
Appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Kate, we thought this might be a blowout when the Argos went up 14, but we got a closer game. Argos only up 6.
We certainly do, Matthew Shinetti, and we might have one of the plays of the year. Before we get to the breakdown of this, can we just go back, Jake Herslow, for a minute? And by the way, Rod Smith, I mean, he was on that, so he said Hurlin Herslow, but let's watch this one more time.
Pull the left leg through.
Milt, as you said, too, the fact that he kept going is something that we rarely see.
Oh, yeah, he hit the ground running. I mean, like Chaz made the point, most guys, they lose their balance, but look at this.
Yeah.
He kept it going.
It's brilliant. Like, that is such a brilliant play. And, I mean, as I said, I think that that's one of our top plays of the year. We had the one-handed catch by Robert Carter Jr.
Who said number 87s can't jump? Get it? Number 87s can't jump. All right, continue.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't laugh, Milt.
Pick it up.
I didn't laugh.
You can.
Yeah, by the way.
Just focus up. You'll get it later.
You know what? As we said, too, and Matthew just said it as well, too, it did. It looked like a blowout at one point in this game. It was 22-1, and then the Ottawa RedBlacks have just roared back. Obviously, the Argos got some points on the board at the end of that quarter there, but right now, for the Ottawa RedBlacks to get back into this game was something special.
I thought resiliency was real important for this football team, how poorly they played the last time, and especially those two critical errors the last time they played. Well, here comes another critical error. Fumble picked up, 77-yard return for Big Jordan Williams, running out of oxygen right about here, and he can't handle it, goes in for the 77-yard touchdown. But watch what happens. There's some resiliency. There's a 55-yard punt, puts the ball at the 3-yard line. It's 2 and out. Pimpleton, 55-yard return, puts the ball in scoring position for the RedBlacks. First play incomplete. Second play, amazing, spectacular catch by Eugene Lewis. So all 3 phases said, you know what, we've had some mistakes early in the game. Let's just make sure we just play it one play at a time, keep going, an 18-yard run.
And you know what, too? I mean, kudos to the Argonauts, too. I mean, Nick Arbuckle coming off a bit of a rough game there, but he's looked good. Actually, both quarterbacks have looked good in the first half of this one. But for Arbuckle right now, he's got 185. He's got 2 TDs. And really, they are exposing a little bit of this Ottawa secondary right now, David Sanchez.
Let's take a look-ski. Let me show you a couple things here. Never let your disguise ruin your execution. And right here, you got 7 guys up front. The RedBlacks are blitzing. But look, 13 yards off, 10 yards off. It's because they're trying to disguise. But because of that disguise, they come late, which gives Nick Arbuckle a time for double moves. Coxie's wide open at the bottom, Brissett up at the top, touchdown. And right here, again, communication is key. At some point in a play, those 2 guys are going to come, the receivers are going to come near each other. You might switch. But switch happens early. Once you get to a certain point, DB should yell lock, and it's over no matter what happens. Right here, up the field, 5, 10. At this point, it's locked. I'm yelling lock. The halfback's yelling lock. It's over. One guy thinks they're going to switch. One guy doesn't. They're both open. And this is why when I was playing defensive back, we always talked about play it, play it, play it. As we got to like 4 or 5 yards, we would yell out, lock, 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 which means whatever happens, it's over. You can't switch that far down the field.
Lock, Chaz, I like that word. Lock. Dreadlock.
Oh,
Dreadlock.
Good transition. Good transition, Miltstein.
Yes, talking about both of these returners, Pimpleton and Janarian Grant, and what they've done in this first half. They have something in common. They both have dreadlocks. And when you have great returners in the CFL, it just enhances your game because there's a good chance there's going to be a decent amount of punts. And these 2 guys took full advantage of in this first half. We know Janarian Grant from being a special teams player of the year last year, what he can do. But this Pimpleton guy is getting his chance this year, and he's taking full advantage of it. I think the one thing with Pimpleton is he needs to get in better shape because they really want to utilize him just not on the return game, but also as a receiver. So both of these guys, and shout out to our producer, Jamie, are dreadlocked and loaded. And I think in his second half, it's a high dreadability that it may be another great return.
Too far, Bill, too far. Too far. No, you should have stopped at the dreadlock. By the way, Darius Pickett, too. Could you imagine if Pickett would have ran one back?
Oh, man. He would have ran straight to the studio.
The party would have been starting the entire time. He would have come back here for the second game, and we would have heard all about it. Meanwhile, coming up after the break, it is... That's when you say straight.
Another hot, muggy summer Saturday here in Southern Ontario. Looking deeper now to the end zone. Touchdown. Deja Brissett has it, and Arbuckle does get rid of it. End zone touchdown, wide open. Jake Herslow. The ball comes out. It's Williams with it. What a disaster for the RedBlacks. Having a look for Gino Lewis. And did they ever need that?
Week number 10 wraps up tonight with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders. The third and final meeting between these two teams in the regular season. The Stamps have won the first two. Can they make it a sweep? And the best part about this game is the return of Vernon Adams Jr. and Zach Collaros. You love to see starting QBs getting healthy. And you know what else you love to see on this show? Straight fire. Let's kick things off.
We got the nephew of former CFLers, my teammate Roy Lombala and Stephen Lombala. This is Olandi Lombala, 6 years old, cutting it back, high and tight, taking it to the house. He's way faster than any of his uncles, I promise you that. Olandi Lombala, there you go, hit it, hit the seam. Oh, that right there, high knees, he's going to be a fullback like his uncle, I think. That right there is straight fire.
Speaking of connections to the CFL, U18 National Championship, the women's gold medal game, Team Ontario receiver Kiana Grant. That is the daughter of former CFL player and current coach of Carleton, Corey Grant. Oh, she might be more talented than her dad, too. What a grab. Catching it on top of the defender's helmet. It's straight fire.
Straight fire. West Shore Rebels. Gavin Session rolling right, throws his huge throw on the outside. Two defenders. Zion Brown makes it to catch. 60-yard touchdown. Watch this replay. Throws it up here. West Shore won this game 45-24. Zion Brown. Straight fire.
How about the Niagara Nitros in the U18 championship game in Ontario flag football? Sadiki Hayden with the dunk. Look at him. He did his arms. He did his curls. You know what Sadiki means? Sadiki means loyal. He's loyal to the game. He's loyal to the grind. And he's loyal to embarrassing defenders, baby. You know what? That's straight fire.
Don't forget, if you have plays at home, you can actually send them to a real account, not a random person's email anymore. It is straightfire@bellmedia.ca. Send in your highlights. We love reading them. We love giving props to grassroots football all around this country. And speaking of straight fire, my goodness, we've got one in this game today, don't we? One more time. Chesney, what were you saying about this?
Get it? Number 87. Who said 87s can't jump? Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson.
Man can't jump.
Focus up. I have to elevate you guys all year long.
Yeah.
Focus up. Focus up.
Is that a movie?
He's not white. He's that.
Halftime at BMO Field. We got a game. The Argos with a late field goal to move it back up to 6, but that's after an Ottawa comeback in the second quarter. A big part of that, a touchdown catch for Braylon Addison standing by with Matthew.
Braylon, how critical was that 42-yard touchdown pass going into halftime?
The whole drive was critical. We started kind of slow, just trying to get back going, stay together as a team.
You guys are down 14, but what soft spots in the Argos defense did you start to see that you could exploit?
They're a good veteran defense. They got a lot of good guys. We're just trying to attack the zones. They play a lot of zone coverage. They trust their guys to make reads and make plays. So we're just trying to find the soft spots in the zones.
Appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Not only that, Wayne, he also had the catch just the dead ball line for the 2 points that got them within 3. Boy, Bob Dice, and we talked to him about that playoff game last year, the last time they were at BMO, when there were 96 points on the board. The way that second quarter was brewing, who'd be surprised when they start racking up both teams?
Yeah, things were heating up a little bit, turning into a little bit of a track meet.
Ryan Dinwiddie, too. This is the third game, part of a doubleheader today, but of Week 10, and the first two have been dramatic, and this one is promising more of the same. The little drop by Adebaboye on that kick return. He picks it up. He's still going. Adebaboye! Midfield and more. Carter Lau can't get him. He's still going. Adebaboye! Finally out of bounds. Biggest play against his old club, to be sure, and it was another disaster
just a missed tackle or two along the way. Milsteagle will tell you couldn't let the kicker get him.
A 72-yard kickoff return for Daniel Adeboboye, the ex-Argo. And here comes Ottawa immediately to start the second half. They have it down to the 11. It'll feel good for the fourth-year CFL Brian, who had his first 3 years here in Toronto. Now they're in position to possibly take the lead. Starting at the Argo 11 for Drew Brown and handing off to William Stanback. Turns around, works his way down for a pickup of about 5 more yards. Second down coming up.
Remind you again how the Ottawa comeback got started in the second quarter. Big return. Daniel Adeboboye.
And you talked about the difficulty the Argos have had. That's the narrative early in this first half of the season for Toronto's coverage units. And then burned once by Pimpleton to set up the first Ottawa touchdown. Here we are again to start the second half. Another big return off the kickoff. Second down. Getting close. Brown, little pump. Soft toss to the end zone. Touchdown. Gino Lewis again has his second TD of this game. And this one, a point after away from Ottawa, taking the lead.
Well, it looked like a little double move with a pump fake here from Drew Brown. Gino Lewis uses that fake to get in behind Benji Franklin. You know, we heard Gino coming off the field after his first touchdown. Sounded like he was suggesting they could target him in the red zone all day. He delivers yet again.
So here's Lewis Ward for the point after. Low snap. Ward just falls on it, and no, it stays a tied game. Missed their chance to have their first lead of this game as the snap comes out low and Richie Leone can't get a handle on it. But nonetheless, quickly to start the second half. Lewis with another touchdown.
And we'll take a look here at Gino Lewis's second touchdown of the game. He's lined up to the bottom of your screen. He sells it that it's going to be a quick route to the inside, so Benji Franklin's coming down hard. The second, Gino Lewis sees the defender commit to trying to break up that slant. He's going this way. He's going this way.
And with that, Eugene Lewis has his first multi-touchdown game as a member of the Ottawa RedBlacks. And what a time to get it, too. Just the start of the second half. And, you know, they missed the extra point when the snap was low. But that kick by Lewis Ward heads into the end zone. And Janarian Grant takes the lead. So there's their extra point.
Yeah, they were trying to get that point back. You can see the way he kicked that football. He's trying to get it on the ground and have it take that skip. And it worked out perfectly.
To perfection, indeed. 26-25. So now we can say, one play later, the RedBlacks have the lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, you can see the way Ward hit that football. He wasn't trying to get a lot of air on it, trying to get it on the ground in front of Janarian Grant. It takes a Ottawa bounce, skidding into the end zone.
Recall the meeting before. There were big special teams plays in the playoff game last year, but a couple of weeks before that there were in the kicking game between these two. Here's Arbuckle. First possession. Second half. That's caught by Brissett, who got things started back early in the first quarter with a touchdown catch and a good pickup there to head into the RedBlack zone down around the 45.
Now here's the early turn of events. Gino Lewis, the offensive left. Again, you'll see the little fake to the inside. Here's a pump fake from Drew Brown. Benji Franklin bites. Gino goes deep. They miss the extra point, but watch. This kick, a little low. Kind of a half squib, getting that on the ground.
First down, handing off. McMahon cuts it back up the middle, and a good pickup by Deontay McMahon
Coxie's numbers are through the roof, but generally a pretty balanced passing attack for Toronto in terms of distribution amongst the other receivers.
1st and 10 at the Ottawa 21. Arbuckle. Malden couldn't get him. Has lots of time. He rolls out. He keeps it. He heads out of bounds with a flag coming out. Out at about the 15. Be a 2nd and 3 coming up as we wait to see what the flag is about. Flag went down in the Ottawa secondary.
Legal contact. Ottawa number 36. 10-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Now we see Jay Colton pleading his case. He's the one that is called for that in the illegal contact. And another first down. The Argos getting close.
These teams kind of trading shots in terms of these offensive drives.
Ottawa got a big return to set up. Start of the second half, got the touchdown to Lewis. And then a single on the kickoff to take the lead. Now Toronto in scoring position. Arbuckle rolling to the right again. Will he take off again? He slides just inside the 10. Couldn't find a receiver in the end zone. He took a look. It's a 2nd and long coming up.
Yeah, this is well covered by the Ottawa defenses. He had pretty good distribution of the receivers there. Kevin Mittal was on kind of a bubble screen path with a couple of deeper routes in front of him. But Ottawa got things locked up, forcing Arbuckle to pull that one down and just get what he could.
Which was 2 yards, so it's a 2nd down and 8. To get a first down, they'd have to get it inside the 2. Here we go. Arbuckle, flag is out. Down to the 5, he runs again. And shy of a first down, Davion Taylor gets him, but as mentioned, a flag out of the Argo backfield. And what would be a 3rd down and about 3 yards away.
Holding. Toronto number 51. 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the down.
John Boss, the right tackle, called for the hold, so it'll push Toronto further back. And another 2nd down.
Boss, the right tackle.
You don't need to jump.
So that pushes them back to the 20. And a 2nd down now. 19.
Correction. That hold on Toronto 51 is going to be declined. It'll be 3rd down.
So they'd rather have them stay closer, but still in a tough 3rd down spot to think of anything but a field goal. It would be about 3 yards away with the ball at the 5, and assuming that they would have Hyra out there. Arbuckle is still out there now. So they haven't made the change. And Ryan Dinwiddie to talk to somebody.
They're looking for some clarification, I think.
The yard marker still has it back at the 10. Now it's starting to move. The line of scrimmage would be the 5 where Arbuckle got because they declined the penalty. And this would be a 3rd down and 3. And the offense remains on the field. So here we go. Interesting 3rd down gamble now. Or will they just try to draw them offside? We've seen the Argos in the past try this a lot. Oh, they snap it. And Arbuckle takes off. And it looks not in the end zone, but will he have enough to make it 1st and goal? He's close. He's down inside the 2. That's what he had to do. So it looks like a 1st and goal will be coming up here for Toronto, and more running by Nick Arbuckle. It
job getting low there. Arbuckle finishes what he started.
And with that, a 5-point difference now, they will go for 2. We saw the RedBlacks do that late in the first half after the Addison touchdown, hitting Braylon Addison again for the 2 points to tie it up. This time, Toronto looking to go up 7. 2-point try. Taking it back behind. End zone look. Receivers down. It's David Ungerer. Robert Priester on the coverage there. No flags. And no 2 points for Toronto. Now with a 5-point lead at 31-26. Now the RedBlacks started the second half after a big return with a touchdown. First possession, Toronto. Down they go on a 9-play drive, but didn't get the 2 points. They go along with a 63 through 14 holes, and he does have the 2-shot lead. Taylor Penrith, the top Canadian, and he shot a 65 today, tied for 13. So you can watch some golf on TSN Plus tomorrow. And the final round, FedEx St. Jude. Short kickoff now for the Argonauts. That is taken and moved up to about the 45-yard line for Toronto.
Looked like Kenny Onyeka on the return. Toronto didn't want to kick deep to Khalil Pimpleton.
So Onyeka gets it, and yeah, cognizant of what you're talking about, the difficulty they've had in covering kicks.
Yeah, feeling a little better trying to wrap up Kenny Onyeka than trying to track down Khalil Pimpleton.
The result, too, though, is Ottawa's a good place to start, up at the 45 now. Trailing by 5 points again. They had 1 point and trailed by 21. Got right back into this game in the second quarter. 4 receivers out to the right, going that way, short for Addison, and it falls incomplete up at the Ottawa 50.
McManus supplying some pressure on that one. Ottawa given a big boost in this game by its special teams in terms of keeping pace with the Toronto Argonauts. But it'll be up to the offense to try and answer here.
Brown now, finger pointing time, moving along the line of scrimmage, and there's a flag comes out. Argos are sure they were drawn off.
Ottawa number 65. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Calling the right guard and former Argonaut, Darius Bladek, on that one. The procedure calls, so it's a 2nd and 15 now coming up for Ottawa. Bob Dice, in his 3rd full season as the head coach of the RedBlacks, he's been with this organization since 2016, the year they had their greatest moment in their existence, winning the Grey Cup over Calgary. Dice was a part of the staff back then. That one is caught midfield, first down, and a good play on a 2nd and longer because of the penalty. Caught there by Justin Hardy.
Yeah, Justin Hardy working out of that boundary slot position. Well, pretty good coverage. Nice route there from Hardy. Frees that defender on the inside, give himself a little bit of room to sit it down.
Brown coming up, change the play, the ball just over midfield in the Argo zone. 5-point difference, 3rd quarter at BMO Field. Here's Brown settling in, has time, completes it back to Hardy. Gets another first down, Justin Hardy. Their leading receiver a year ago was the 2nd leading receiver in the CFL in yardage last year. Gets that one down to the Toronto 40.
There you see offensive line giving Drew Brown a little bit of time. Back-to-back first down pickups there for the former East Carolina Pirate.
Brown is 19 to 23. He's thrown for 250 and 3 touchdowns so far in this game. Down at the Argo 41 now. Past the halfway point of the 3rd quarter. To throw again. Steps up. Gets rid of it. And no. Hot potato. And it ends up falling incomplete. Looking for Addison there down at the 31.
officially. If Drew Brown might have gone over the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball, but Parrish was on the tight end and we got Gosselin on that play.
So it's at the 31. It's a 1st and 10 now for Ottawa. Back behind by 5 points. Williams stands back. Tries to move it out the right side. He's got nowhere to go, though. It's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like a loss of about a yard. It's Cameron Judge, one of the Argos, in on the tackle, as is Anthony Lanier.
Cameron Judge, his second stint here in double blue. Guy who's been all over the field for the Argonauts through the first half of this season.
And with that stop, a loss of 1. Stand back. Has 9 carries for 34 yards. It's a 2nd down and 11 now. Stand back beside him, Drew Brown. Over the middle, it is caught. It's Pimpleton. And he keeps working his way and spinning his way inside the 20, and another Ottawa 1st down. The drive continues.
And this is another one that looked like Ottawa was going to be stopped short. But Pimpleton with this effort after the catch manages to pick up just enough.
And there is an injured Argo getting attention now down in the field close to the line of scrimmage. The ball after Pimpleton made his gain down to the Toronto 19 and a 1st down. We'll be back. Earlier, before the game, the Argos honored a couple more all-time players. Nick Volpe, who at first was a player for them, won a Grey Cup with them in 1950, and later a scout, long time with the organization. And our dear friend, boy, do we miss him. Gone for a few years now, an old teammate of Pinball Clemens, Chris Schultz. We love Schultz. Mark there on the left, and beside him his sister Monica there for the ceremony. He's also remembered here as one of the all-time Argos, number 67, an old teammate of yours for a while.
Yeah, very deservedly so. Schultz, a great player, fantastic student of the game. One of my all-time favorite teammates, both in football and in television.
Yeah, a TV teammate with us at TSN for a long time. Great to see him honored. Here's Brown. End zone touchdown! Ottawa RedBlacks do it again. It's Hardy with his 3rd touchdown in 2 games. Had a couple last week against Calgary. And this RedBlack offense, even after Toronto drove down to take the lead again, Ottawa has that lead back.
Yeah, Justin Hardy working towards the middle of the field here. This one comes out of Drew Brown's hand. A little bit of wobble, but absolutely gets where it needs to be. Justin Hardy goes after it. Making a play on the ball in the end zone.
So an 8-play, 65-yard drive to answer right back. Back and forth they go. Tommy Condell's offense hitting its stride after a slow start. And this has been some game since the disaster for Ottawa. It was all Argonauts in the first half, scoring a touchdown in the final play of the first quarter, Ottawa responded in the second quarter, but it was 22-1 at one point for Toronto. So they go for 2 again to see if they can open up a 3-point lead. Successful the last time they tried. On the ground, stand back, breaks the plane of the end zone, or does he here? He got close. They're looking. Close to the goal line. Touchdown. They get the lead back. 1-point difference. Late third quarter here at BMO. Ottawa RedBlacks.
Well, Justin Hardy with the latest touchdown. He's going to motion from number 1 inside to number 2. Great route. You'll see him stem to the corner, which freezes the halfback Mark Milton on the outside. Then breaks inside. See Milton trying to recover. Drew Brown gets it there. Hardy going up to get it. So Ottawa retakes a 1-point lead.
Justin Hardy, the veteran out of East Carolina, and that's his 4th touchdown receiving of the season. And that matches Gino Lewis. 1 for Hardy tonight, 2 for Lewis. They lead the way in the RedBlacks in receiving touchdowns, and that one has given Ottawa the lead again. 1-point difference. What a game we have at BMO this afternoon. 3:41 on the clock. 3rd quarter. Janarian Grant at the 15. Looking for another big return. Feeling his way through across the 35, so Nick Arbuckle will head back on again and see what the Argo offense can do now that they've been challenged.
Well, the Argos did an excellent job after the last Ottawa score that opened the second half. Argos did a good job of answering the bell, not letting Ottawa sort of maintain that momentum. We'll see what Nick Arbuckle and the O have up their sleeve here.
Now it's starting to look like one of those games you talked about a couple of nights ago where last possession could win it. Here's McMahon sweeping to the left, hit hard by the safety Justin Howell, but not before a first down on the ground for the Argos up close to their 50.
We've seen a couple of nice explosive runs from Deontay McMahon here in the second half of this ball game here, getting out on the perimeter. He'll move the sticks with that one.
3 carries for 24 yards for number 24, Deontay McMahon, who also has 30 yards receiving. First down, getting closer to midfield for the Argos. Down a point and back in the ground to McMahon. Broke 1 tackle, but Adarius Pickett, the party starter, comes in. Ex-Argo to take him down after a gain of about another 5 yards. So we got close to 5. We got a second down coming up here for Toronto. Call it a 2nd and 6.
Slugging it out. Notice Argos had their new fullback, Felix Gauthier, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat, making his double blue debut. He was in the game for the last play.
Number of years with the Ticats. Now in double blue. Blitz coming. Getting rid of it and caught DeMonte Coxie. Quieter game by his standards for Coxie, coming in as the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League. And first yardage that he is picking up, his first catch, targeted once before in this game. And it'll be just shy of a first down. About just inches away. Third down, out of shotgun. Quickly, off to Tavares Daniels. First down and more. Howell pushes him out. Daniels with a good job after that catch by staying inside the sideline, getting it down to the RedBlack 34.
Just a nice escape from Tavares Daniels here along the sidelines. Quick turn. To help him on his way.
Back and forth, these offenses go now. First down, Argos, Arbuckle, lots of time. And he gets it off to McMahon. Off to the side, Pickett coming in. It's finished off by Elijah McGee after a short gain, a 2nd and long coming up here for Toronto.
Yeah, Pickett didn't get a clean shot at him, but got just enough of McMahon to slow him down, throw him off balance. Now Elijah McGee to clean up.
Argos led after 1 quarter, 22-1. A couple of big kick returns, a punt return, and later to start the second half, a kickoff return for Ottawa, giving them short fields and a chance to get back in this game. Now they with a 1-point lead. Arbuckle again, 2nd down and long, and no, incomplete. That was close. The intended receiver, Dejon Brissett, who had a touchdown earlier in this game. Right where the shadow meets the sun, that comes in. It's incomplete, and a field goal situation coming up now for the Argos.
Brissett going down to the turf trying to get that one.
Liram Hiralau on 1 for 1 from the 20-yard line. He hit before, and this game suddenly of lead changes is to see if the Argos can take the lead again. This is from 38 yards away. Hiralau took a little bit of a break and he missed it. Taken by Pimpleton deep in the end zone. He takes it out. Khalil Pimpleton cuts back and he runs into his own man. Stop there. That was DeAndre Lamont, but he did get it across the 5, and a late flag comes out. Right at three-quarter time, a penalty coming up as the RedBlacks, off that return off the missed field goal, still have the lead, but would be starting late in their zone. We'll sort out that penalty for you as well. But a game, 15 to go. Maybe more. Who knows the way it went the other night in Hamilton. RedBlacks coming right back, and they take the lead heading into the fourth quarter. As we look at the numbers through 3, I just want to say it's a shame the games this week haven't been close at all. I mean, it's too bad. I mean, Ottawa down, 3 touchdowns. They come back. They have the lead with 15 minutes to go. Or as said, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the over-under is on fourth quarter lead changes here, but yeah, I would take the over the way this one is gone.
Well, speaking, I mean, I didn't hear Milt Steagle's prediction in terms of total points in this one, but it's pretty hard to top the last time they met in this field. They racked up 96. It was 58-38. The Argos going away. That was in that playoff game, the Eastern semifinal. But Ottawa, impressive by the RedBlacks on offense, what they've been able to do, and gifted some big special teams play, to be sure, but they have been able to sustain some drives as well, and they have the ball and a penalty against Isaac D'Arcangelo on that special teams play. The missed field goal pushes Ottawa out 15 more yards, so they get the scrimmage from their 18 now to the back inside their 10. Here we go, Drew Brown. It's knocked at the line of scrimmage and up in the air, and it comes down. Cameron Judge coming in on that, but it was Anthony Lanier in the mix there to see who touched the ball. Cameron Judge was injured late in the third and comes back on. See, look at that problem with the finger there.
That's a football finger, a little crooked.
Not supposed to bend like that. Anyway, they do knock it away. He gets it taped up. He's ready to go again. Good defensive play for Toronto to knock it up in the air at the line of scrimmage. So, a second down and 10. Ottawa RedBlacks 32, Argos 31. Pressure coming. Brown trying to get away. He can't. Coming in is Whitten McManus. One of the stars for the last few years of this Toronto defense, making a huge play as Ottawa's going to have to punt it away from deep in the red zone.
McManus, the middle linebacker on the blitz, just beats his man cleanly. There he is, standing up to the right side of your screen. Just got underneath the block of Daniel Adeboboye there. In hot pursuit of Drew Brown. Tough situation here for Richie Leone and the punt team.
Well, Ottawa's had some big special teams play, some big returns. Now Shanarian Grant, he's already standing inside the Ottawa 50 when he takes it. Pickett coming in, can't get him. Grant still going, and then he gets pushed over there by Aiden John right at the end in a pile. They go no further. They're in good shape. They're down 1, and they'll scrimmage from inside the Ottawa 40 here at BMO, fourth quarter. Well, the Argos still 20 yards away from getting to the red zone. You see what happens when they do. Nick Arbuckle has been just about money, and he has been the guy to lead this offense, Matthew, with all the uncertainty about Chad Kelly.
Well, and that uncertainty really has been the theme of this Argos season, particularly when you describe it as, when is Chad Kelly coming back? But today is really a landmark for Nick Arbuckle in his 8 years in the CFL. This is his 9th straight start in a regular season, and 10th if you go back to the Grey Cup, which he won as the MVP. Now, I asked him before the game what that has done for his process, and he talked about the first few weeks having to kind of look over his shoulder thinking, well, when is Chad coming back? I really can't do the things I want to do in this offense. But before the game against Winnipeg a couple weeks ago, the one thing he knew, when Ryan, Chad Kelly was placed on the 6-game list. He said, it's not my team. I understand that, but I can make subtle adjustments in the offense so that I know that I'm settled for a little bit, at least for the foreseeable future, and guys don't have to be confused. Whether I'm the quarterback or Chad's the quarterback, they know and I know I'm the guy right now.
Ron Matthew, as we saw in Montreal last year when he came on under difficult circumstances in these final, and Chad Kelly having a great game but suffered the broken leg. Arbuckle helped lead them to that victory, and then of course the Grey Cup. So thrown into it really for the toughest games, and now first half of the season, starting all 9, and after a 2-yard carry by Mac Mahan, it goes into Dejan Brissett, who works it down close to a Toronto first down as they approach the Ottawa 30.
Yeah, certainly nice drive here for Nick Arbuckle in the Toronto Argonauts, starting with very good field position. But, yeah, Arbuckle and Ryan Dinwiddie again have had some success. The start of Arbuckle's career in Calgary, filling in for an injured Bo Levi Mitchell. Ryan Dinwiddie at that time coaching the quarterbacks with the Stampeders. And this their second go-around together here in Toronto.
And surrounding that, 2 stints really with Ottawa. One, he never played because of COVID. Ended up with the Argos in 21 before being traded away to Edmonton for, interestingly enough, the rights to Chad Kelly back then. But then coming back again, and remember talking to him Grey Cup week, how they had plans a little over a year ago to move back home. Thought his career is done.
Yeah, get into coaching.
And that was it. And of course, Chad Kelly missed the first half of the season under suspension, and they had Cameron Dukes.
Yeah, they really had no experience at quarterback.
And so they brought him in, and when it came to be a choice between him and Dukes, Dinwiddie went with Arbuckle. The rest is history. And as they wait for Kelly's return, Arbuckle filling in admirably in the first half of the season. He completes that one to Brissett. I say admirably. The record doesn't reflect that, but he has still racked up a lot of passing yardage. As a team, it's been a tough first half, of course.
Percentage play we've seen before. Brissett working out to the flat as Arbuckle rolls that way.
Another first down to the Ottawa 18. Threatening again. Arbuckle lots of time, and he does. Just underneath. Mac Mahan inside the 10, trying to do the rest. Dancing around to about the 7 of the RedBlacks. And coming up here, depending on that spot, looks like a first and goal. It is coming up as Toronto red zone and knocking on the door again.
I saw Mac Mahan leave the game a couple weeks ago, the first Winnipeg game. Banged up a little bit, came back with his ankle taped up, but this is as much bounce as I've seen in his step all season.
Here we go, Arbuckle. Off to the right. It is caught. Bouncing off a tackle is Kevin Mittal. And then strung out and thrown out of bounds. And that's by DeAndre Lamont. So he gets it down to the 5, a second and goal coming up.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a big explosion as Mittal has his head turned to catch that football as the defender is closing on him, but you get a little bit of a sense of the size and strength of the former Laval receiver. As the defender just bounces off of him there, he's able to pick up a few more yards.
He too had a touchdown in that memorable Grey Cup for the Argos last year. And Mittal comes in to this game with 417 receiving yards and a couple of touchdowns. Last week, 5 for 37. But not much there. They're still just outside the 5-6-yard line. Second and goal, Toronto. Looking to take the lead again. Arbuckle. Lots of time. Moves to the left. Trying to run away. End zone. Touchdown and wide open. That's Tavares Daniels with it. And the Argos are back ahead. Daniels with his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Well, the Argos had a little roof-raising celebration of their own after this one. Daniels working all the way to the far left. You could see him calling for the ball as he knew he had lost his defender there.
all these passing yards for Arbuckle, and only one catch for 6 yards by his top receiver, Coxie. And for Daniels, just his third catch, 29 yards, and that touchdown. 4-2. They get Herslow. Herdlin Herslow gets 2 points. He had a touchdown in the first half, and more points for the Argos to open it up to a 7-point game. Every time Ottawa takes the initiative, back come the Argos, leading again under 10 minutes to go.
It was 31-32.
What an afternoon heading into this evening of drama in the CFL. A week of it so far. Tavares Daniels, the latest, gets the touchdown. They get the 2 points. Now they're up a touchdown again. They were up 3 touchdowns in the first quarter before Ottawa came back to take the lead. 39-32, and we are not done yet. 9.5 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Khalil Pimpleton on the return and working his way up across the 35, about the 37-yard line. Look at the quarterback. You know, the one between Drew Brown and Chad Kelly was remarkable the last time they met in this field in the playoff game. But how about these numbers so far?
Yeah, the accuracy absolutely stands out, and obviously combining for 7 touchdowns, no interceptions to this point in the ball game. It's a terrific job by both of these guys.
Drew Brown threw the ball 61 times in that playoff game. They got 38 points on the board, 7 of them very, very late. Still lost that game by 20. A couple of defensive touchdowns for the Argos in that playoff victory on their road to the Grey Cup. There comes Ottawa. Williams stand back, running hard again, taking more than one to bring 31 down as he gets up near a first down. Had to get to the 48, and he does. So the sticks move right away on the ground.
Yeah, the yards certainly haven't come easily for the Ottawa RedBlacks, but stand back in the O-line, get it done there. Nice movement from right guard Darius Blada.
11 carries, 47 yards now. The longest is 16 for Williams Standback. He gets 10 there. It's a first down. Faking to Standback. Rolling to the right is Brown. Looking deep. Down the right and open. Pimpleton inside the 25. Another big play for that Ottawa passing offense. And here they come in scoring range again.
Well, one of the keys to this play is the block. Here you see Keelan White, rookie receiver, motioning down. The guy who usually plays on the perimeter, here he's being asked to come in and block the defensive end. He pins him inside. This is what allows Drew Brown to escape to the outside and get this dart down the field to Khalil Pimpleton.
Pimpleton with 3 catches for 62 yards. And don't forget the big punt return he had to spark the RedBlacks back in the first half that led to a touchdown. Running right side and more, keeping his feet. Williams Standback slams his hand down to the turf, but that carry has him inside the 10, and a first and goal coming up here for Ottawa.
Yeah, Standback. Again, a couple of nice runs on this drive, protecting that football going into contact. He's got that forward body lean, legs driving.
Back to him. Standback that time. McManus is there. They get a crowd judge too to meet him. Chatfield. And on that first and goal play, they get it down to about the 5. Ottawa quickly, after Toronto had responded, to take the lead again. There's something about these two teams when they meet on this field. It's a lower scoring game in Ottawa in week 4, but as mentioned, they put 96 on the board in the playoff game, and they had met a few weeks before that in the regular season to decide who gets to host that playoff game that the Argos won, and that was a high-scoring game. 71 points on the board so far here. A running play again on that second down and goal. It's Daniel out of a Boye, so it is third down. Now, flags come out. They're in the Argo end zone now. What a big flag this would be. There's ex-RedBlack Andrew Chatfield, who's having a great year with the Argos.
Whichever way it goes, this flag will be big.
tension continues. Referee Andrew Wakefield is waiting on an announcement. That was it'd be a 3rd and goal coming up here at about the 2. First the penalties against the Argos.
Misconduct foul on Toronto, number 91. Ball will be spotted on the 1-yard line, first down.
Well, there you go. 2 set it downs, 1st and goal coming up here for Ottawa.
Yeah, and keep an eye on the battle happening right here. That's 91 Anthony Lanier. And the Ottawa fullback, Anthony Gosselin, plays over. Bit of a hip toss there by Lanier. There you see them in behind.
Bit close to a tie ball game again. Dustin Crum is in short yardage. RedBlacks, Crum keeps. Second effort, but he couldn't get it. Denied there by the Argo defense.
Yeah, absolutely no movement along the line for Ottawa here. The Argos just stack it up. Jordan Williams in the middle of that just exploded across the line of scrimmage at the point of attack to ensure that Dustin Crum got nowhere.
So they'll try it again. Crum stays in at the 1, 2nd and goal. Tries the right side. Pushes his way in for an Ottawa touchdown. A 1-point convert away from tying this game again. His motion to the right. Crum went that way and found his way through.
Yeah, the middle was not friendly for Dustin Crum on 1st down. So 2nd down there, you see a little lateral step to the right, find a soft spot, find a bubble. Attack there, Crum punching it in.
He was the starting quarterback for Ottawa 6 weeks ago in week 4 with Drew Brown hurt. And known more for the short yardage plays. That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And Lewis Ward can make this a tie game again. He had a missed kickback extra point earlier. Didn't get the exchange there. That one is perfect. And so is the kick. And so is this game, as it turns out. If you like them close, can't get them any closer. RedBlacks were down a few times. Back they come. 39-39, 4th quarter. Coming up, McMahon Stadium, part 2 of our doubleheader. Part 3 for the Stampeders and the Bombers. Hey, if you like close games, no pressure, you guys. Calgary won decisively, both at McMahon and also in Winnipeg a few weeks ago. So they've taken the season series, but Bombers looking to get some payback in that one. What a week it's been so far. Overtime in Hamilton 2 nights ago. Cody Fajardo against his old team in Montreal last night, right at the end of the game to win it. And then this one, a blowout to start, suddenly tied. Just over 5 minutes ago, Janarian Grant on the return and gets that up across the Argo 40. So back comes Nick Arbuckle. 30 of 34 for 288 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And obviously looking to keep it that way down the stretch in terms of taking care of that football. You see Tyshawn Blackburn, the injured Toronto Argonaut, 2nd-year man of the University of Alberta, has been starting the nickel linebacker spot. Filled in last week at safety for an injured Derek Sluka.
Look at what Nick Arbuckle has done so far. Has mentioned those numbers and no interceptions. Dejan Brissett got it started, but Arbuckle, the way things are, has had himself a day.
Yeah, he certainly has. Just, you know, for a guy who obviously has had a little bit of an up and down career, just seems to be playing with a high level of confidence at this stage for the Toronto Argonauts. And again, the record isn't what they want it to be. A lot of factors at play, but I think Nick Arbuckle has done a pretty good job in his role.
88% completion percentage today, and did come in completing close to 70%
here. Kevin Mittal on the inside is going to pull coverage in, creating a little bit of a hole. For here, you'll see Unger coming back into that space.
Ottawa.
And Ottawa calls a timeout. Looks timely, too, for Unger. It looks like he's taking a breather and rejoins the huddle. David Unger, Grey Cup with the Argos. Started his career with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 6th year at Idaho.
He's really proven to be a great fit with the Toronto Argonauts. He's coming over here as a free agent. Spent his first 3 years in Hamilton.
Got the Grey Cups with the Ticats, too. Winning with Toronto. The Ottawa 38. Back playing again. Deontay McMahon and a good tackle there. Daniel Apoko, the Canadian D tackle, coming in to meet him right away, taking him down for no gain.
Apoko becoming a bigger part of this defensive line rotation here in his second Canadian Football League season. Native of Saskatoon, where he attended St. Joseph's High School before a college career. San Diego State, 11th overall pick last season.
There's Will Fields, who with the RedBlacks in his first year, of course, was with the Argos. The Grey Cup last year, the co-defensive coordinator. That pass, and knocked away. Robert Priester just eating the lunch there. Tavares Daniels, he was right in his pocket as he knocks that one away from his old teammate.
Get a closer look here. Argos offensive line. It was a tough battle last week for them in Winnipeg. They've rebounded nicely in terms of giving Nick Arbuckle time to do his thing there. Just a nice job in
Toronto was
coverage.
challenging the previous play. They believe there was pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
That's just about right in his pocket. Saying maybe a little bit too close as they're challenging this. Is it PI at a critical point in this game?
Keep an eye here on the right side of your screen for the battle in question. I thought the timing looked pretty good from Robert Priester, but here's the official verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Toronto has out of challenges, has 1 timeout remaining for the game.
As announced by the referee, Andrew Wakefield. So, not pass interference. Therefore, 3rd down coming up in a tie ball game with 3 minutes to go. The Argos do have a chance with Liram Hairolahu out there to take the lead yet again. To be put down around the 45 by John Haggerty for Hairolahu, who is 1 for 2. He missed in his last attempt. Big one now. In a 39-39 tie. Breaking right, but still going through with a bit to spare. And a 3-point Argo lead. Our friend Chris Schultz. You know, we knew him as a broadcaster, of course, many did, but you also knew him well. And I did watching him. What a great offensive tackle he was. He was a great football player, and being honored today as an all-time Argo.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic teammate. Schultz was actually the first guy I met when I signed with Toronto in 1994, and it turned out to be very fitting. I came into the Argos facility in the offseason to sign a contract to see Bob Obilovich, who's the head coach and general manager at the time.
Who's that 34 guy?
He's fast. That guy's fast. But anyway, yeah, only 1 player in the facility in the middle of the offseason, and it was Schultz. Like, in there watching film, taking notes in the offseason. And that was, you know, that to me is something that has always stuck, as you know, working with him in studio, always a preparation guy. You know, fine-tuning his craft, etc. There a lot I learned from him in those days.
Well, I saw how he prepared for television, and from everything I've heard, it was the same way for a football game. One of those first in, last to leave type of guys, Chris Schultz. Great to see him honored by the Argos and a member of their all-time team. So the field goal by Hairolahu, 42-39, 2:50 on the clock, an eternity. The way this is going, Khalil Pimpleton had a big return earlier on a punt that helped set him up for a touchdown. Well, not only Schultz known for his playing and for his, of course, his TV work, but for this Purelator tackle on a hunger. And that day today, very fitting that he is honored as well. And we've talked about before, this cause meant so much to Chris Schultz, involved in it year after year.
Yeah, it really did. And this is a guy who played in the National Football League for the Dallas Cowboys, was an all-star here in the Canadian Football League for so many years, worked on national television, but I think his work with Purelator was the thing that he was most proud of.
Absolutely. All very proud of Chris Schultz, too. That throw by Drew Brown and open, and all he could do was tiptoe out of bounds. He was so close, but a good job by Hardy to keep his feet in bounds in time to catch the ball, and a big first down into the Argos zone come the RedBlacks.
Yeah, and you love seeing great receivers do their thing because they make things that are kind of tough look really easy. Justin Hardy, very relaxed on this play, but just, always having that awareness of field position as well. Just focusing on the ball.
William Stanback has the ball now, and he pulls his way for a good pickup on that running play to the Toronto 45. And less than 2 yards shy of another first down. Still 2:28 on the clock.
Stanback has been big here in the second half. Watching the clock, the way this game has gone, if you're Ottawa, you don't want to play Toronto anytime if you manage to score.
Well, getting close to field goal range for Lewis Ward. Didn't need to go much further there, although pushed back with McManus. Another big defensive play for their all-star McManus to knock the RedBlacks back, and that was on a second and short play. So we got third down now, 2:20 on the clock, and it would take about a 55-yard field goal try in order to tie this game.
Yeah, Ward's long on the season is 50, and it looks like this would be into a little bit of a breeze, so the offense stays out there for the Ottawa RedBlacks.
Still over 2 minutes to go, so can't quite say this is it, but this is definitely critical on a third down gamble by Drew Brown and the RedBlacks. The snap, the pressure, gets rid of it, it is caught. Down at the 42 for Stanback, and that looks like it is just enough to move the sticks. It is an Ottawa first down and a big play on third down.
William Stanback sort of tucked in here as the inside receiver. Emptying out that backfield, just get the first down yardage, turn and look for the ball.
First down, going to work again. They got it down to the 41 of the Argos. They're down by 3. Handing off Adam Aboye. Picks up a couple more. Aaron Casey coming in. Taking him down, and keep an eye on that clock, too. At 1:40 right now. But you're right. If it's they're looking at a field goal to tie, then they don't want to leave the Argos too much time. Regardless, of course, it helped them a lot to find the end zone and force Toronto to do the same coming back. A lot of work to do here, though. Still a long field goal. It's at the 39. It's a second down. And long. Adam Aboye in beside Brown, who will throw. Does to the right. It is caught. It's caught down at the 25. It's Justin Hardy again. Had a touchdown earlier in this half. And another big first down, definitely in the Ward field goal range now.
Yeah, Ottawa again does a nice job picking up the Russian linebackers. Keeping the pocket clean, allowing Drew Brown to do his thing that time, delivering to Justin Hardy.
1:19 on the clock. At the very least, Ottawa needs the field goal to tie it, and dare I say it, perhaps, like 2 nights ago, force overtime, but still, lots of time. Saw Hamilton drive late, get a field goal in the dying seconds to force OT.
fresh bodies in there on the D-line.
Stand back again. 1, 2, 3. That's what he needed for another first down. They continue the drive. They continue to work the clock down. 47 seconds on it. So they could definitely wind that clock down. Lewis Ward waiting if necessary. Could win it with a touchdown. Just outside the 10.
Toronto, their final time out of the game.
Yeah, their defense was looking a little bit gassed. William Stanback was starting to go to work a little bit. Ottawa had just brought the fresh legs of Daniel Adeboboye into their backfield in response to the Argos bringing in some fresh D linemen.
William Stanback, 53 yards rushing in the second half. Not much in the first. Those plays along the ground really helping Bob Dice's team out now. Thinking of winning, not of overtime. They have it at the 11 of the Argos. 47 seconds, still lots of time. Here we go. Crowd picking up at people. What a game, regardless. When the RedBlacks started, 3 touchdowns down. Ottawa, pressure coming, gets rid of it. End zone, touchdown! Touchdown, RedBlacks! Hardy again! And that one puts Ottawa in front by 3 with a point after try pending with 41 seconds to go.
A rather masterfully executed drive. Keep an eye on the left side of your screen. Braylon Addison, the receiver, stays in. He picks up that blitz off the edge. Helps create a passing lane on the outside for that toss to Justin Hardy.
Second straight game that Hardy's had 2 touchdowns receiving. That one putting the RedBlacks in front again. 9 plays, 72 yards in just over 2 minutes. Lewis Ward with a critical point after, because now a field goal in the final seconds can't help the Argos. They need a touchdown. And the way this game has gone, wouldn't put it past them. Back and forth they've gone. This is huge for Ottawa.
And there you get another look. Drew Brown. Perfectly placed throw just past the defender. Only Justin Hardy can go get that one.
Mentioned the fondest memory Bob Dice would have in this field was winning the Grey Cup with Ottawa 9 years ago, but not a lot of fond recent memories as head coach of the RedBlacks coming into Toronto, losing in the regular season last year in a game to decide home field in the playoffs, and then the playoff game itself when they lost by 20, 58-38. But despite a disastrous beginning for Dice's team in that first quarter, when they gave up a touchdown on a turnover in the final play of the first, falling behind by 3 touchdowns, back they came in the second quarter. And here we are. Ottawa, not over yet, with a 4-point lead in the final minute. And look who's back, of course. A game breaker in Janarian Grant. He's broken hearts many times of opposing teams on his returns. As the Argos do need a touchdown. First, Ottawa's got to take it down, and look at it. The party starter, the ex-Argo Pickett, coming in on that special teams tackle, the Darius Pickett. So it'll be up to Arbuckle and the Argo offense now. 35 seconds to go, down by 4 points.
And not bad field position here for Nick Arbuckle. 39-yard line.
Not only a great week so far for close games, a great week for the road teams. The BC Lions coming back, dramatic overtime victory in Hamilton the other night. Cody Fajardo and the Edmonton Elks doing it to his old team. Great at the end of the game for the winning touchdown to Keon Julian Grant. And now this, Ottawa down a ton early. The road team has a shot. silence the crowd now here at BMO with one off Nick Arbuckle, who had great numbers in this game but picked off late to effectively seal the deal for the Ottawa RedBlacks, taking a knee and looking for an all-important third win to make the turn at the halfway point of the season and improve the record to 3-6.
Well, big win for the Ottawa RedBlacks as these two teams officially wrap up their first half of the 2025 season.
And this was more important, despite the same records, for Ottawa because they lost to the Argos earlier. So they do tie up the season series. Point differential still favoring Toronto, but
yeah, Argos would hold the tiebreaker if it remained tied. But to your point, this is why it was important to Ottawa to move ahead of Toronto in the standings.
Number 3, Drew Brown. The Ottawa RedBlacks fell behind by 3 touchdowns. And a couple hours later, they find themselves with their 3rd win of the season.
All hard fought on a day where they found